Here's what I want you to take away with you tonight, and is this phrase. It is, we cannot defend or restore what we do not know. The Hebrew word yada is translated in English as to know. And often we use the word to know in very light passing, like, I know Rob. Hi, Rob. But the Hebrew word yada means something deeper. It means a thorough, intimate, all-consuming, deep knowing. And I want to challenge us tonight to begin restoring America by knowing America. If we are to restore America to her fullness, we need to know America in her fullness. Yada, no. We cannot restore what we do not know. Okay, so here's the big question. How do we begin relearning and restoring the many lost individual ideas that together make up the big picture of America? How do we do that? Because without a thorough understanding, we can't restore it in its fullness, correct? We need that full map. Well, thank goodness, it's rather simple. Are you ready for it? What do you think it is? It's so simple. You read, and then you read some more, and then you read some more, and then when you get tired of reading, you pick up a book and you keep reading. You read the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, the Federalist Papers, the Anti-Federalist Papers, the Articles of Confederation, and I'm so thankful that so many of you here are doing just that. You are ahead of most citizens in this country. But that's not enough. Then you read the writings of the founders. And then you read the writings that the founders read that gave them the good ideas in the first place. And then you just keep going. You keep studying, you keep reading, you keep deepening, you keep thinking. You cannot restore what you do not know. Did I do something dyslexic? Who wants to sit there and read a book when our country is falling around us? It seems so unproductive and counterintuitive. We are moderns and we are action-oriented, we're results-oriented, and we think, read a book? What a waste of time. And I'm not telling you to completely ignore your responsibilities or your calling. But if we are to be the new American founders, and I truly believe that we need to rise up a new generation of American founders. If we are to be the new American founders, we must know, know what the original founders knew. And then guess what? We need to go beyond. Why? We need to go deeper. Why? Because I believe the challenges that we're facing today are harder in many aspects than what the original founders faced. We are facing giants. Those of you who ran for office, thank you, and I'm sure you kind of came face to face with some of these giants. We are facing giants. They have the power, they have the money, they have the influence, they have the network, they have everything. And what do we have? The truth. The truth. What was that? We have ourselves, right? We have God, and we have the tenacity to stand up to them. And let us add to that list of what we have, the ability to outthink them. Okay? You cannot restore what you do not know. I'm going to have you all chanting that by the end of the evening. So I challenge you, for the sake of this nation, for the sake of your children, for my children, you're only this tall, for my grandchildren, for your grandchildren, and for their children, I beg you, take the time to study. Take the time to deepen yourself and to become a new American founder. Here's some ideas. Wait, I kind of jumped ahead. I'm supposed to tell you about the Tytler cycle. History is turning on its hinge. We're at a crossroads, correct? And we can either choose to be on the side of the door that is opened towards liberty, or we can be on the door that shuts us into bondage. Do y'all have the Tytler cycle in front of you? Hey Jason, you want to put the Tytler cycle up on the screen? Oh, it's on the back of the bulletins. Do we have bulletins? Well, while you're all looking for the Tytler cycle, Andrew Tytler was a Scottish lawyer and thinker and professor writing around the time that our founding fathers were putting together our Constitution in our country. And Andrew Tytler noticed something. this cycle is attributed to him. He noticed that civilizations, particularly Western civilizations, cycle through about a 200-year cycle. He noticed that a civilization would find themselves in bondage, and they would move to faith. From faith to courage, courage to liberty, liberty to abundance, abundance to selfishness, and then from selfishness they'd slide into complacency. Complacency goes to apathy, apathy, dependence, and then right back into bondage. Now what he made note of is that most civilizations would spend the majority of their 200-year cycle in bondage. So they would cycle through this thing really quick. Sometimes it'd take a few years. Sometimes in the case of the French Revolution, just a few years, a few weeks, and sometimes in the case of the Hungarian Revolution, a few days. But most people in the history of this world have spent the majority of their time in bondage. And of course we know that the United States is not the case. We have spent most of our time in liberty. And there's been some very important parts, some very important elements that have kept us in liberty. I don't have time to go into depth of what those elements are. I'll just touch on them briefly. The first one is that in the United States, we've had proper forms. We've had the proper forms of family, marriage, economics, government, education. Proper forms based on natural law and reason and thinking people. Well, we've lost those. We also had something called public virtue. People were willing to lay down what was best for them to serve their community. They were willing to sacrifice their good for the good of the nation. And the third thing that this nation had was education. But not just any type of education. We don't have this type of education anymore. It was a type of education that taught people how to think deeply, how to tackle very big problems with common sense. We have lost this form of education. It's called liber education. So if we are going to, because where are we, by the way, on this cycle? Just give me a big shout out. Where are you? Apathy. We're not in liberty? Or how about abundance or courage? So basically what y'all are saying is that we're on the orange side of the circle. Okay. We cannot bypass history. This will happen. It happens over and over and over and over again. We will go into bondage. The question is, how long will we stay there? Will we stay there for the next 200 years, as the cycle normally indicates? Or will we reestablish into our society those things that have been proven historically to get a society out of bondage and give us liberty? One of those things is education. We cannot restore what we do not know. Read. So here are some ideas to get you started. Next week, in Syracuse, Albany, and Rochester, something called the Foundations of Liberty course. This is an 18-month course designed to make you a new American founder. How many of you are familiar with this course? How many of you have heard of this? Okay. In the back, next to the book table, there's this flyer. This course, I am so excited about, because I get to read the Federalist Papers and then be taught by one of the wisest and most well-learned men I have ever met about what it means. This course, most of the 912 leaders around the state are taking this course, and I know New York State will feel the effect of this. Generations will be transformed because of what y'all are doing. So I want to encourage you to consider taking the Foundations of Liberty course. This is pretty intense. If you are serious about becoming a new American founder, this is the course you need to take. It's designed to develop leaders, thinkers, and the new American founders. So check that out. Also, I know this has been referenced before, but all those books back there, great start. Begin building up your freedom library. Begin collecting a group of books that you can hand on to your kids, that teach you about what it means to be an American, that teach you about liberty. And a good one to start with is this one, A Thomas Jefferson Education. This book gives you the practical how-to of how to begin getting that liber education, the type of education that kicks a society out of bondage and keeps us in liberty. And not only that, it tells you how to teach your children. This has to be generational. It cannot stop with us. We've got to hand it on to the next generation. Your kids and grandkids need this stuff. And it's not in the public schools. I'm sorry, it's not there. I wish it was. The next thing is join a book club. Get a group of people. Start talking. Interact. Grow together. Get confused together. Ask hard questions together. But whatever you do, read. And the very last thing, which I think is the most important thing we all need to be doing, is to pray hard. Get on your knees and beg God to intervene on our behalf, to come and fight the battles we are too feeble to fight. And then be willing to be shaped by Him into more willing vessels, into more able vessels, to be used to change this nation. Because you know what? Ultimately, all good ideas come from Him. And He is the one who is going to save this nation. And we have the honor and the responsibility to join with Him in what He's doing. So I want to challenge you to be open to that. Let God come and bonk you on the head and wake you up. Put your faith in Him, be willing, be ready, and when God says go, you go. So I challenge you to become a new American founder. I challenge you to take that Foundations of Liberty course, even if it scares you. I challenge you to read the big, thick, dusty books that you've not touched because they're too big, with the big words you have to look up every few sentences. I challenge you to take a radical step and study. I challenge you to become a thinker, a leader, a statesman. You cannot restore what you do not know. Thank you.